Hello, everyone. I'm your digital host, Tatiana White, and welcome to 48's newest digital series, This Month Matters. And this is just going to be a digital series where each month we'll take a closer look at the causes, communities, and conversations being recognized and why they matter, how they impact our community, and how we can get involved. So, January is National Blood Donor Month. So, joining me today to talk about this is Becky Cecil with Madison's Life South Community Blood Center. How are you doing
I'm
today?
good. How are you?
It's good. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I
Oh,
know
no
this is such
problem.
an important job, so thank you for
Definitely.
joining
And
me.
thank you for having me. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
of course. And so, just a brief overview National Blood Donor Month is a time set aside to just recognize the life saving role blood donors play in our communities, to raise awareness about the ongoing need for blood, especially during the winter months when donations tend to drop. Blood donations help hospitals care for many patients in need so they can have that steady blood supply. So, could you just start by telling us like your role with Life South and the mission here in North Alabama of Life South?
Yeah. So I am the district community development coordinator for Life South. Basically, I'm a one-person department. So I do graphics, flyers, marketing. Our district is pretty big. We go all the way up into Tennessee, down to Coleman, out to Scottsboro, Florence, Decatur. We're all over North Alabama. And so I kind of coordinate between all of those different regions to make sure that we have the biggest blood drives we can, the best turnout we can. I do things like this, talk to the media, send press releases, just anything that I can do to support our recruiters who are the ones booking the blood drives, anything I can do to help them and help our hospitals, because that's ultimately what we're here to do, is to help our hospitals and make sure that they have what they need before they need it. Life South, we're really dedicated to our community, to creating a safe blood supply for the hospitals that we serve. And we go out every single day, except Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Yes.
and bring that blood in
Yeah.
to our donor center in Madison, and that goes out to our local hospitals at the end of the day.
That's awesome. And I feel like that's such a great like thing that you guys are doing. And so you guys not only get the blood from the people, but you guys also transport it and everything.
We do, and that's what kind of separates us from a lot of other blood centers. We are truly a community blood center. So when you donate in North Alabama, at the end of the day, all that blood comes to Madison, and we actually process it on site at our Madison Donor Center. It goes into a cooler, and then it leaves our donor center and goes to Huntsville Hospital. It goes to Coleman. It goes the Huntsville hospital system in general. So we're really different in that the blood that's donated here stays here.
Yes. Okay. So it's just like a one-stop shop for
Pretty
everything.
much, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's something I didn't realize before I worked here. I had always been a regular donor.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I'd get on the bus and I'd be like, okay, I did my,
Yeah.
good deed. But when I started working here, I was like, oh, wow, the blood comes here and they put it in centrifuges and they process it. And then we have couriers that drive between 150 to 300 miles per day delivering those units to our hospitals. So it truly is, if you're wanting to help your community and donate and save lives, we encourage people to come out to our drives, because that's what we're here to do, is to help those hospitals.
Yes, that's amazing. I didn't realize all the steps that even goes from like the getting the blood all
Yeah.
the way to getting it to the hospital.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's a whole operation.
And for people who've never donated before, what does it actually mean to be a blood donor? And is it a one-time thing, or can you regularly donate?
So we encourage people to be regular donors. One thing that I also didn't realize before I started working with Life South is they need 200 to 250 donors per day to supply the needs of Huntsville Hospital System. We are the main provider for Huntsville Hospital System. So right now it's about 22 hospitals that we provide for in North Alabama. It's a huge ask, and so we need those donors every single day to show up. So we really encourage people to be regular donors, to come every 8 weeks if you're doing whole blood, or we have people who come every couple weeks and do platelets, or they might do a double red blood cell and come every 16 weeks. But we really encourage the people to be regular donors, because it makes such a huge impact for such a little time commitment.
Yes, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
so for the people who do donate blood, how like often should they come? Like if they're going to be a regular donor,
Yeah.
do you recommend like maybe 4 weeks in between? Or?
So we have mandated times between. So if you do whole blood, which is what a lot of people do, it's the quickest donation, takes less than 10 minutes for the actual donation, that you have to wait 8 weeks in between it. With platelets, you can come a lot more often
Okay.
to do that. And then if you do, we call it a 2 RBC. It's where we just take the red blood cells. You have to wait 16 weeks between that because
Okay.
we're taking more of the red blood cells.
Yeah.
So you gotta give your body a little time to recover.
Yes, okay.
But we encourage people, if you want to do whole blood, come every 8 weeks, make an appointment, show up to one of our drives. We really rely on those regular donors to support our blood supply here.
Yes, okay, that's good to know because
Yeah.
I was like, I know you can't donate like every week or
No.
every day, but like,
No.
so that's good to know, like you can space it out and like you
Mhm.
can still be regular in that sense.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people who we see every couple of weeks to come and do platelets. We
Mhm.
have a lot of staff. Our executive director, she donates platelets, and
so
she's
good.
often on the machine out there donating. And so we really, encourage people to be regular donors because it's easier once you get into it to, kind of just make it part of your routine. Every, couple months come by and donate with us. So.
Yes, and I didn't even think about that. Like you can still work and volunteer there, and like you can also still be a donor.
Oh
So,
yeah,
like,
I
that level.
donate. I donate whenever my iron allows.
Yeah.
But yeah, our staff, a lot of us are donors as well as, working with Life South and being stewards of the mission. So
Yes, that's amazing.
yeah.
And what are the health qualifications to donate blood, and what are some common reasons someone might not qualify? Because I know sometimes some people, they may not have like the right health to be able to donate blood.
Right.
So.
So the great thing about our process is that we do kind of a mini physical when you come in to donate. So the first step is you'll come and just register. You'll give us your ID. We'll take down your information. You'll answer about 50 questions that just kind of go through your history and if you get through that step, so if none of those questions disqualify you, then we do a mini physical. So we check your blood pressure, we check your iron, we check your weight, we check your temperature, make sure that you are in good health to donate. Some basic guidelines, though, is 16 and older are able to donate. If you are 16, you do need a parent permission, though. 110 pounds, and that's really just kind of the bare minimum ones. People have a lot of questions about if I'm on this medication or that medication.
Right.
We do have lists on our website, so if you have a question about that, you can see. But a common misconception I think we get a lot is like, we'll have people say, "Oh, I just got a tattoo,"
Yeah.
or "I traveled overseas to this place."
Yeah.
And if you get a tattoo at a licensed shop, you can donate almost immediately.
Okay.
But all of those questions that people might have, we just encourage you to come donate, because if you have a question like maybe this disqualifies me, we'll address that. But if you don't try, you won't know.
Right,
So we just always encourage people to give it a try.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I love that you guys offer like a mini physical too, so
We
they
do.
can just find out on site, and they can either find out if they can or they can, and then so
Yeah, and we want we don't want you to donate if you're not feeling well.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that you are in great health to donate. In addition to that, too, after you donate, we will send you your cholesterol level. We do A1C. Currently, so we'll send you that. We also can tell you your blood type too. So there's some
nice,
kind of cool things on the back end that you get for donating as well.
Yes, that's awesome. And so I know like some people, they experience some type of like sicknesses or like some type of I know there's like skin conditions and things like that, so that kind of go through their blood. So for things like that, would they not be able to qualify?
It would just depend. And it kind of goes back to the, if you think you might be able to, but you have some questions, we just encourage you to come out to a blood drive, come by one of our centers. You can even call, there's a number on our website that you can call and kind of get answers to those questions. But we just encourage people, if you have a question about it, reach out or come by one of our blood drives and we can let you know.
Yes, okay. And that's good to know. Like people may qualify more than they even realize.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of common misconceptions like, oh, maybe if I'm taking high blood pressure medication or something like that, or if I have diabetes, I can't donate. And both of those things you can definitely donate with.
Right.
So, it just goes back to we encourage people, stop by a blood drive if you have a question, or call our office and we can get you the answers you need and hopefully get you to come donate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know when getting like your blood drawn, which may be like a little different, like when you're getting your blood work done, you have to sometimes fast. So do people need to do anything to prepare, like fasting or anything?
No, you actually want to do the opposite.
Okay.
So we encourage people to get a good meal before you come donate, drink lots of water. We don't want you coming on an empty stomach. That's when we see people getting nauseous or dizzy, is when they come and they haven't eaten breakfast or lunch. So eat a good meal, drink lots of water. before you come donate with us.
Okay, yes, that is also really good to
Yes.
know because I get a lot of blood work done and stuff, and I know they're like fast for 8 to 12 hours. So I
Nope,
was like,
don't
is
do
that
that.
the same thing?
Do the opposite.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. And can you kind of like walk us through a little bit about donating blood? Like what happens the moment somebody walks in and how
Sure.
long does it usually take?
So it takes, depending on if we have some people waiting, it could take 30, 45 minutes typically. You would come into one of our centers or onto one of our buses. You have to have an ID. We'll take down your information. If you've already donated before, it's a super quick process because we keep all that information in our database. So you will register with us, and then you will get a tablet and go through about 50 yes or no questions that the FDA mandates, and they just talk about your history, where you've traveled, what kind of medications, things like that, just to kind of see if you are good to donate that day. And then we will do that mini physical. So we'll prick your finger, check your iron, we'll do your blood pressure, check your weight if we need to. And then if you get through that step, then that's the actual donation is the next step. And that itself takes less than 10 minutes.
Okay.
We'll have you sit in a chair. We'll have the phlebotomist come over. They'll put the needle in your arm, and then the bag fills up and you're done. So it's a pretty streamlined process. I mean, like I said, we do this every single day,
Yeah.
except 2 days a year.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty quick process, and it's pretty quick and painless.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, and that's good to know because I
Yeah.
know some people that are a little worried about what that whole process
No,
is like. So
yeah.
it's good to know that like it's just you
It's
fill
just
out some things and
Yeah,
you
it's
move on.
registration, some questions, a little physical, and then you donate.
Yes, awesome. And what are the different types of blood donations? You talked a little bit about that, and how do they help patients differently? What type of patients do they help here in North Alabama?
So blood donation, I think a lot of the time when you think about it, it's like, oh, a trauma comes into Huntsville Hospital and they might need 50 units of blood. But when we separate the blood, we separate it into red blood cells, platelets, plasma, different components, and they can be used for different things. They can be used for patients who may be going through cancer treatments, babies who might be in the NICU. Blood products are used for just routine surgeries in addition to traumas. We also provide the blood for ambulances and the helicopters. So somebody who might need urgent transportation and need blood in a helicopter and ambulance could also receive blood from us. So there's a lot of different uses that we can apply blood components to beyond just a car accident or something that comes into a trauma bay.
Yes. And so like I know there's like type A, type B and things like that. So people do they have to find a match for them? Like they can only get, like if they have type A and they get a donation, it has to be type A as well.
So we do give our hospitals the O positive. So and typically when we see shortages, it's the O positive, O negative, because hospitals typically want a universal blood donor. So they'll start with that, and then they can blood type you to your specific blood type. And we always are needing all blood types to come in. And and blood donation is kind of we kind of see ebbs and flows with it. High schools are a huge part of our donor base. So when high schools are in session, usually we're pretty okay on blood supply. But times like the summer or the winter when high schools are out and people are busy, we typically see less people coming through the doors, but a higher usage from our hospitals. So when our hospitals request, they'll typically want that universal donor. But then in addition to that, once they're able to blood type or match your blood type, they'll want specific ones like that. So we try to give them whatever they're requesting for that time period.
Yes, that makes
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does.
I know that was a long, rambling answer, but
no, that definitely makes sense. And how can people, do they just determine when they get there what they want to donate? Because I know you said plasma and like blood. So do you guys, I guess through the form that they fill out, is that how you determine?
Typically, how it works is, so we have one of our phlebotomists will do their physical, and there's additional requirements to do platelets or double RBCs, things like that. So if they're a candidate, and sometimes there's specific blood types we need for each, and that's just kind of determined by where our supply is at the time. So our phlebotomist, if they have somebody who comes in, they might say, hey, would you be willing to do a double red blood cell or something like that. We also do have like our platelet donors that donate platelets with us. They often will make appointments like, oh, I'm going to come back in 2 weeks and do this every 2 weeks. So it just depends. A lot of the time our phlebotomist will say, hey, are you open to doing this donation, or sometimes the donors know what kind of donation they want to do. So it just depends.
Okay, great. And like, do you have to do appointments for the people that come back, or like, can you
No,
just show
you
up?
can just show up.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
We encourage appointments just because, then you can get in and out really quick if we're busy. But yeah, 100%. Come walk on the bus, come walk into one of our centers, and we'll get you taken care of.
Yes. And recently I saw the American Red Cross, they declared that there was a severe blood shortage right now. And so why do blood donations to you, like, why do they matter so much? And why are they at a low, like, during, I guess, winter time and things?
So it kind of goes back to with us at least, high schools are such a huge part of our donor base that, in the winter, we do typically see a shortage, usually starting around Thanksgiving, going into even now. We try to keep a 5-day blood supply. And I think the last update I had was we have about a 3-day. And, there's a lot of variables. When high schools are out, people are traveling, we might see lower donor turnout, so less people coming through our doors. Our hospitals may request more units because people are on the roads traveling. There may be more car accidents, things like that. And then weather here, as we're seeing, weather plays a huge role because if we have to shut down for a couple days, that's, like I said, we need 200 people per day. So if we have to shut down for a couple days, that's 400 that we need to then make up to make sure our hospitals have what they need. So, like right now we're seeing that where we're going into some bad weather and we're really encouraging people to come out and donate. So it's just things like that affect our blood supply. And so we, during the winter, we every year see that we're always tipping on the edge of that shortage. But fortunately, our donors are really great when we put out a plea saying, hey, we need some people to show up.
That's good to know that they at least, when
respond.
Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And I know some people, they just have like that fear of donating blood. And so you talked a little bit about some misconceptions, but what's like one misconception that you can kind of debunk for people that are kind of like, I'm scared?
I guess the pain, I think a lot of people are, I'm afraid of needles or it's going to hurt. And, we go to high schools and we get that a lot is I'm afraid of needles. It's going to hurt. It's going to be, and our people are so good though. They do this every single day. They draw hundreds of units, thousands of units every year. So the pain is so minimal. It literally is a prick. And it's so quick. The donation process, you're not sitting there for 30 minutes with a needle in your arm. It's so fast. Maybe less than 10 minutes, 5-6 minutes, something in there. So, it's as long as you're eating and drinking before, we just encourage those people to come out because it doesn't hurt. Even if you're afraid of needles, we'll have you look away. It's just such an easy process. But at the end of the day, it makes such a huge impact in somebody's life. Such a low time commitment for you, but could save up to 3 lives.
Wow, that's amazing. One person's can save.
Save up to 3 lives. So, for instance, we were at a high school yesterday. They had 41 donors. That's 123 lives that can be saved just from those 41 people who showed up.
Wow, that is so amazing.
It is.
Like, it does. I didn't even realize this, I was like, I didn't know if it was like one person and this goes to one other person or just splitting it. So that is so good.
So, it's such an easy, quick, painless process. So if you're afraid of needles or you're worried it's going to hurt, it doesn't. It's just so easy and quick.
Yes, and that is good to know because I know a lot of people, they're like, I can't.
That's the one I hear the most. I can't do needles. I'm afraid of needles. But our staff is so good. They're just so good, so professional, just experts at what they do.
Yes, I was about to say, it seems so like a seamless just process in and out type of thing. So
it is, definitely.
And for anyone who's interested in donating blood with Life South, how can they sign up and get involved with the Huntsville-Madison area Life South?
Yeah, so the easiest way is to go to lifesouth.org. We update our blood drives on the website. You can put in your zip code, your city, and find something close to you, either a donor center or a blood mobile. We have donor centers in Harvest, Madison. We have one on County Line. We are about to get one in South Huntsville, in Owens Crossroads. We have one on South Parkway. So we're all over the place, and our buses are going out every day. So lifesouth.org is the best way to figure out the nearest place to go to come donate with us.
Awesome. And do you guys have specific social media for like the North Alabama area Life South?
We don't. We have our corporate office runs our social media, but we put out a lot of text messages, emails to our community. We're constantly working with the news and radio to get the word out. But yeah, that lifesouth.org is the easiest way. Just type in your zip code and it'll pull up.
Perfect. And for
What's
people to
close to you.
sign up for those text messages and stuff, is that also on the website?
So that goes out to our donor base. So the
Okay.
easiest way to get on that list is to come donate.
Yeah, okay, perfect. And is there anything else you would like to share? Any final pieces of advice, takeaways?
I think the biggest thing, and it's like I said, I didn't realize this before I worked with Life South, is that there's not a synthetic way to make blood. So if hospitals don't have what they need before they need it, there's not a plan B.
Right.
So our goal is to make sure that those hospitals have what they need, that we make sure that their patients have what they need. And it's so important to us to get the community involved with us. It's a need every single day. So we're really encouraging people to come out to a blood drive. If you haven't donated before, just come out and see us and try. And because it is such a critical need, and it's something that we see every single day in our community, but it's not necessarily something that is always at the forefront of people's minds, unless you knew somebody who needed a blood product, or maybe you did, or maybe you're a regular donor, or whatever the reason might be. But I think day to day, it's not something that people necessarily think about, but it's just such a huge need in our community. And with being the main provider for Huntsville Hospital System, that's a huge system. And we have to make sure they have what they need before they need it.
Yes. Well, yeah, you guys are doing a very essential job. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. And it's
Literally,
so
it's
good to know.
life-saving.
Yeah, literally life-saving.
Literally.
And you brought up such a good point. Like, there's no synthetic way to make blood, so
Right.
you're literally saving people's lives. And so
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me and
problem.
for sharing. And I know that this is going to be so helpful in debunking some of those things people may think when they think of donating blood. And so
Yeah.
hopefully you guys get more people out there, more people to donate regularly,
so.
or at least one good time donating. So, yes.
Yeah. And the main thing I always say too is that, like, we are truly a community blood center. That blood that is donated here stays here. We don't send it out of state. We don't, we're not shipping it to different places. So it's truly a way to give back to your community.
Yes, and it's such a simple,
It's so
seamless
simple.
way. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's a different way. I know sometimes volunteering consists of going out and picking up trash or things like
Yeah.
this, but this is like another way that people may not even know is a way to donate.
Yeah, and
so
it's
volunteer.
directly a way that you can help somebody else.
Yes. Well, thank you so much again for joining me.
Thank you for having
and
me. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course, and for all that you're doing for the community. It's amazing. So
Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, our team is amazing, and they really put their blood, sweat, and tears into this. So.
So literally,
Yeah. Literally, yes.
Yes, and thank you all so much for tuning into this month matters, and thank you, Becky, again for being my first guest on this series. So
I'm
very
honored.
excited. And not only this month for National Blood Donor Month, but anytime throughout the year, if you can, go check out your blood donor in your community, blood donation areas, and see if you are qualified to be able to donate blood. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.